Hello, everyone. My name is Evan Cutts. I'm the content editor of Color Magazine, and today we have another installment of Color Conversations. This is a really exciting program because we are celebrating the 10th anniversary of the Women of Color Leadership and Empowerment Conference. So we are here with Dr. Ginny A. Baro to get her exclusive leadership tips as the influential leader and woman of color that she is. And I'm really, really excited to have this conversation with her and for you to learn from her work. So I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Ginny, and she'll be able to tell you a little bit more about what she does. And the floor is yours. Tell
Thank
us
you so
what you think.
much. Thank you so much, Evan. I appreciate your invitation to speak with you on this most important series. My name is Dr. Ginny Baro, and I have been an entrepreneur for the last 3.5 years. Prior to that, I was in the corporate world in financial services and technology for over 26 years, and I've been in business for 30 years total. So I started when I was 5 years old. Don't tell anybody.
Okay.
Uh,
Lemonade
so
stand?
say that again.
Was that a lemonade stand at 5?
Yes, five
Heck
years old,
yeah.
lemonade
Okay.
stand. Yes, actually, I used to make jewelry.
Oh, snap. Okay. All right. A little bit of everything. Cool,
A little
cool.
bit of everything. So over the past 3.5 years, I decided to take my career in a whole new direction. Stepped out of corporate and stepped into the world of entrepreneurship, which is, as you can imagine, a whole new world, especially for somebody who never knew what it was like to run a business before.
Mhm.
And my passion is to develop leaders. I strongly believe that great inclusive leaders make or break an organization. And
Mhm.
having been in the corporate world for so many years and having experienced and being managed and led by wonderful inclusive leaders, that it truly did make a difference in my career. And also having experienced some of those managers that are not so great, has I have been able to see in my work environment what it does to the team and what it does
Mhm.
to the overall impact that we have in the organization. So that's what I do today. I help
Mhm.
organizations develop their leaders, and I help individuals ascend through the ranks and grow their careers and truly tap into their full potential so they can say, hey, not only did I make money, not only did I use my work as a resource to live my life and do the things that I enjoy, but I also had an impact while I was doing it.
Very important. So, and that's the focus of your company, Executive Bound, to prepare leaders to excel in that executive track, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. So I would love to get more of your perspective then, right? So in this very, very challenging environment that we're living in with our political moment with the COVID-19 pandemic afoot, from your perspective, what leadership skills are necessary to navigate this environment?
I think the number one is vision. And let me explain what I mean by that. So, vision to me is vision about your compelling vision for yourself, for your team, for your organization, for your community, for the planet, right? Having
Yeah.
the ability to have that vision of what is that compelling, truly connected to what's important and meaningful to you that will, in your world, make a difference. To me, that is one of the most important leadership qualities and skills of a leader. As it is, leaders are supposed to be able to look up around the corners to what is
Hmm.
coming, not only what is, because we know what is, right? The challenge is in being strategic and being able to see what is the trend. Where are we going? Where do
Right.
I need to take my team and my organization? And then that's the more strategic part of it. The more tactical part of that is what needs to happen for me as a leader to help prepare my organization to get there. What are the skills that we will need? How do
Hmm.
we treat our people? What kind of people do we need to have in the organization? That's where diversity and inclusion comes in. If everybody looks the same, acts the same, comes from the same background, how are you going to truly represent the business world? That is not the business world. So if I'm looking to uh, create this vision for my organization and for our future and to leave a legacy, what kind of people do I need to be hiring today? Where are
Hmm.
they? And how do I find a pool of diverse individuals that can come into my organization and bring the ideas and bring the innovation and bring the know-how, the experience, the fire in their belly that we need to realize our vision and execute our vision. And that's where I believe vision is the number one skill. The next one is communication.
Definitely.
Every great leader needs to be able to articulate and communicate that vision to the organization and the teams, the community. Part of that is this is how you influence. Communication is the gateway to influencing any outcome.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we become better communicators? How do we use stories to connect to our audience? And our audience in this case, let's say our people, the people that we are leading. And this doesn't only apply to business, this also applies to your personal life. You are the leader of your family. So how do you use communication to truly express what is it that we are about? What are our values? What is our mission? And then how do we execute it? What is our plan to get there? So we can do that at home. We can do that in our businesses. So as a leader, becoming a more powerful, compelling, and influential communicator is really going to be key. Everybody that you look at in society, Martin Luther King, anyone that you look at, they had the power to communicate their thoughts and ideas in a way that truly resonated with the audience that was listening. But notice what they did. They connected to the heartstrings. And we do that through stories that we share.
Yeah, that's really, really crucial. I do think the stories that we share are really important because I mean that's how people learn to empathize. Especially if you're coming from different lived experiences. Being able to all right, well, I lived through this experience and it's similar to something that happened to you, and you can connect from there. So that is very important. And I wanted to ask, how do you think companies should approach developing their leaders and their talent during this time so that they have those skills, right? Like, what can the institution do to help those leaders out a little bit?
That's a great question. Very good question, Evan, because I know time is scarce, right? Everybody's saying we don't have the time, right? We have all of our resources devoted to do the business. Mm-hmm. And then what happens, in many cases is that we lose track of the people, right? The people are expected to show up, do their job, take care of business, address the problems, and yet be productive, right? High performing, be able to address any conflicts, and then go home. But the question is, who is paying attention to the people that are delivering the products, the services to the stakeholders, to our clients, to our customers, to our investors, whoever the case may be, right? Who is taking care of them and what do they need to thrive? Because if I'm trying to gain the most out of the marketplace, sell my products, sell my services, and I only focus on that as a leader, and I forget, by the way, there is a team of people that are making this happen. Mm-hmm. What does that group of people need? So as an organization, we are invested in making sure that the people that are delivering our products and services are in the right place to do so. And so if you look at your managers, let's say that you're a leader and you have managers under you. If you look at your managers and you say, how are the teams doing? The teams are a reflection of their leader. If the teams are high performing, that means they have a high performing leader. If their teams are struggling, look at their leader, because the leader should be observing what is happening in my team, who's flailing, who needs support, what kind of support do they need? Maybe they need technical skills, or maybe they need a better mindset. Maybe they need to be able to know that they're growing. And how do I express my appreciation for the work that they do? Maybe if you have low morale in your team, let me look at the leader. Everything that we see is almost a byproduct of the leadership that team has. So look at your team, observe your team, see how they're performing. If they're doing great, that's a great sign. If they're not, don't put blinders on and pretend that it's okay, right? Be authentically honest with yourself and say, hey, we need to do something here. And so at that point, it's about what kind of training do they need?
Right.
They need leadership training. Do they need management training? Some things are tactical, like, time management and things like that. Other things, other issues are more around how do you lead? What are the leadership qualities? What leadership qualities do we need in our organization right now? And it all, stems from people do usually what they see their leaders do. So if you're a manager, you will look at your manager to see what kind of behavior, how he or she shows up, and what kind of qualities he or she demonstrates. And usually that gives them license to say, I can do the same thing.
Yeah.
So we all have to look in the mirror to say, am I exuding the qualities that I want my organization to have? Am I living the values of my organization? Not just I have core values that are written on a card. That means nothing to the people that are in your organization. Am I embodying those values of transparency, honesty, communication, teamwork, collaboration? All of that is not something, they're not just words, they are actions.
Yeah. You got to lead, very truly, you got to lead by example, and I think that dovetails with the last question I wanted to ask you, which was, what advice would you give to leaders who are looking to create a unique edge, who are trying to get ahead?
We are in a tough environment. This is very competitive. Leadership roles are always the smallest ones in the organization, right? And as you get older in your career, you want to continue to advance because you feel like, okay, I've reached this level, I've learned enough. Where do I go from here? After you've been doing it the same job for 3 years, 4, 5, 6, you're like, okay, I think I got this one. And I know that I have more potential. What can I do next? So what I would recommend to anyone who's looking to develop their edge is to continue to grow, right? When we stop growing, we start dying. So as a leader, as a person, individual, whomever you are in business and in life, grow your skill sets, grow your emotional intelligence. Most people think, oh, I'll just increase my IQ. I'll read, I'll, become much more well-versed in this topic or that topic. But guess what? Your emotional intelligence is, to me, even more important than your intelligence, your intelligence quotient. Because emotional intelligence is your self-awareness, your ability to self-manage, to read a room when you walk into a room, and to build relationships. And business and life are all about relationships. So develop yourself. Look at the world with a growth mindset, meaning that if you engage in something and you make a mistake, learn from that and continue walking. Get yourself up, dust off, and continue going. If you are in any role within an organization and you have not trained in the last 12 months, in the last 6 months, you're already behind. Because whatever field you're in, there's new technology coming out, there's new thought leadership coming out, there's new concepts coming out. Network, right? Get out there, mingle with people that are doing what you do. Find out what they're up to. You were gonna get ideas. What happens though, Evan, is the obvious. Life gets busy. And we say, I don't have time to do that, Ginny. Who are you kidding? I got a full-time job. I have kids. I have things to do. I don't have time to network. I don't have time to grow. And what happens when we take that mindset is that 10 years later, we go, what happened to my career? I thought I was going to be a director by this time. I thought I would be doing a VP job by this time. What is going on? What happened is we got so immersed in our life that we forgot to zoom out. And that's very dangerous. That's why I would suggest to everybody who's listening, every year, take stock and say, where am I? What's my compelling vision for this year? Where do I want to be at the end of this year? And quite frankly, if you have a family, mother or woman, mother or father, if you have a family, you can say, this year I'm going to focus on my newborn. This year I'm going to focus, but make that a conscious, intentional choice, not a total autopilot type of decision where after the fact you go, oh yeah, I haven't been paying attention to my growth because I've been immersed in something else. So every year, stop and say, okay, 2020, 2021, what do we want to create this year? And then plan, like, okay, what could I look like given my responsibilities? Because we all have them. You know, when I got my MBA, when I got my master's in computer science, when I got my PhD, I had a life, right? I was working full time. I was getting those degrees part time. Toward the end, I got married in 2005. I had my son in 2007. So by the time I graduated with my PhD, my son was 2.5 years old. I was busy, trust me. But it does take stepping back and saying, where am I? Where do I want to be? What is the gap? And then how do I take steps to fill that gap within my boundaries? Because we know we don't have all the time in the world. We all get 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
And it's how we choose to spend those 24 hours that makes the difference 5 years from now, when we open our eyes and say, where am I in my career and in my life?
Yeah. Wow. So insightful. Thank you for sharing that advice. To everyone listening, you know, I hope you were taking notes. If not, you know, rewind the tape, because that was some key information. Thank you so very much, Dr. Baro, for talking with us today, for participating in Color Conversations.
My pleasure.
I want to give you a chance to let folks know where they can find you online. What's you know,
Sure.
place to find you, internet, social media? Yeah.
So my website is executivebound.com. And I'm inviting everyone to visit my flagship leadership development program called fearlessleadershipmastermind.com, where I actually train leaders to take their leadership skills to the next level. And I help organizations do that, as well as individuals. And I also have my personal branding masterclass.com, which is where I help people develop their personal brand and get ready for the marketplace with that edge and knowing what their unique value is. So I suggest anyone who's interested in developing their personal brand, in developing their leadership skills, to get working, because it's not going to happen with us sitting on our laurels.
Yeah, you got to be
intentional. I say that with a lot of love.
Hey. Thank you so much for your honesty, for sharing your leadership expertise with us. Until next time, Dr. Baro, thank you so much.
Thank you.